So today's class, we're going to think a little bit about opening our hearts. And what we mean by that in anatomical terms is opening up the chest. Sometimes we get very tight here, especially when we've been hunched over, devices, anxiety, worries. If you think about an open heart, you're looking at that confident kind of body shape. As always, I recommend that you have a chair or something to lean on. I've not got blocks with me out of solidarity with you guys, so I've got a bucket. You've got a bin or something. If you don't want to use a chair, you might be fine. You might not need anything. Also, I recommend for today's class that you are near a wall and not like me, near a wardrobe. That's a terrible surface to lean against, but I'm not going to need it. You may also want to luxuriate and sit on a cushion for part of it. So, without further ado, if you've got a cushion or something nice and comfy, let's all start off today's class by sitting down in any way that's comfortable. Oh, sorry, also, if there's anyone here who doesn't know me, I'm currently 7 months pregnant. I am trained as a yoga teacher, and I'm also trained as a prenatal yoga teacher and a kids yoga teacher. So everything that we do will be pregnancy suitable. And at any point, if anything I talk about feels uncomfortable or wrong in your body, then you listen to your body and you don't do it. Also, with every pose, I'll try to give you options, and please do not come with me to the final option. I'll try to demonstrate all three, but you do what feels good in your body today. If one side feels stronger or different to the other side, then you honor that. So hopefully with me waffling on, everyone's had time to get a pillow. Nobody, I hope, has as much cat hair on them as I do right now. I'd like you to root yourself down on your seat. And if you're against a wall, it might feel nice to ground against the wall as well. Perhaps it feels good to push a little bit on your thighs. If you've got tight hips, you might want to go right into the crease of your thighs and push down here. This can be where our tightness sometimes likes to hide. I'd like you to feel that you are growing up from your seat, so pushing your hip bones, your sits bones down into the cushion, into the mat, and feel a sense of growing, lengthening up. Let's roll our shoulders and draw them down the back. And just to begin, let's take a slow neck circle. You can do this at your own time. And feel free to linger in anywhere that you notice is a bit stiffer. Maybe you want to change direction with your neck circles. At this stage in our practice, we're just noticing things. Coming back to center with your neck. If it's available in your body, you could either put your hands and hold opposite elbows behind your back, or if it's available, you could even reach around your waist so that you're drawing your hands a bit further apart. Yeah, maybe you can reach to your hip crease. I used to be able to, not anymore apparently. So we're drawing our shoulders powerfully close and down. From here, if you can just keep your hands there, either holding opposite elbows or holding onto your side body, and bring your ear towards your right shoulder. And this might feel a little bit strong for some of us. We're opening our chest and working into the sides of the neck here. And maybe it serves you better right now to keep exactly where you are, or maybe you want to explore with some small movements. You can tuck your chin slightly down or lift your chin slightly up. There's lots of different connections there in the neck. You might be able to feel the difference. And then coming back to center. Just keeping our arms there. Maybe drop your left ear to the left shoulder. And maybe this is a little bit tighter. If you're right-handed, you might find your right shoulder, your right side of your neck is a little bit tighter. Maybe not. And again, you're welcome to stay exactly here. Or maybe you want to drop your chin down a little bit. Or roll it up and back a little bit. And gently release. Shake them out. Okay. Let's just bring ourselves into practice. Push your hands together at heart center and maybe lower or maybe close your eyes, up to you. And you can bring yourself into today with your own intention. Or if you'd like to share mine, it will be to be open to whatever experiences arise. Sometimes it's very hard not to push our expectations onto things. We tell ourselves that we could or should feel a certain way. But let's just be open to whatever happens. It's welcoming you to practice. Namaste. Okay, so we're going to be seated for a minute. So staying comfortable. We're going to start with some wrist circles. Just whatever loose movements are working for you in your body. And then you can make it even a bit bigger. Go for some arm movements. They don't have to look like mine. Any crazed Balinese temple dancer type movements you want. If you listen to your body, it might be telling you what sort of stretches or movements it needs. Just getting all the synovial fluids moving in our arms and our wrists. And then from there, we're going to do a little bit of hand and wrist stuff. So what I would like you to do is to stretch your right hand straight in front of you. Now, when we do that, if I come up, sideways up, when we stretch our right arm in front of us, our shoulder blade may want to extend, but try to draw your shoulder back like that. So you're still really extending the arm, but not the shoulder forward. Okay, hopefully everyone's drawing their shoulder back really nicely. Keep that arm extending. Try to keep your fingers super straight. And with your left hand, I'd like you to, in fact, I'm going to come up the front, that's easier to demonstrate. I would like you to take your pinky finger. So the rest of your right hand fingers are stretching away straight. Just drawing your pinky finger towards yourself for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then your ring finger, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Your middle finger, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your index finger. 4, 3, 2, 1. And your thumb, bring it back towards yourself. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And shake it up. You may find that was a little bit strong in the shoulders. Let's do the other side. So think about pushing your left fingertips as far away from yourself as you can get them. Keep that energy all the way in the left fingertips. But your left shoulder is going to plug back into the socket. And let's draw your left little finger down. Keep the rest of these fingers pointing forward for 3, 2, and 1. And then your ring finger. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Your middle finger. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's get that pointing finger. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then your thumb drawing it back towards yourself for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And releasing. Whew. So you may be feeling that that was starting to work into the arms, into the shoulders a bit. We're going to do a couple more things that you're going to feel probably in your shoulders. So the first one I want you to do is to make fists. Put your thumbs up. So this is already working into the shoulders. Draw your shoulder blades together behind your back. Now put your thumbs down. You're gripping a kettle or the tea. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Ooh. I know. It's quite tough, isn't it? Now this time your thumb is going to go on the inside. I would like you to rotate your arms. I don't know if you can see. Do I need to come closer? So that your wrist is facing upwards. And you can turn your knuckles down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oof. I hope everyone is feeling warmed up and engaged here a little bit. Those are probably polite terms for it. You might want to keep your pillow to lean on, or if not, if you're fine going on all fours, we're just going to find our way to all fours. We're just going to do a couple of wrist warm-ups. If you have got pain or sensitivity in your wrists, you do not need to go as far as I'm showing. So any variation on this will be fine. We're going to do the same shapes that we did before. So we'll do the out or backwards and then the in or backwards. But we're going to start off here, do a couple of cat-cows, and then sink back towards the hips. If you've got wrist pain, wrist sensitivity, never ever go to the point of pain. I'm going to come this way around actually. It's slightly better lighting. So, starting off with your hands in the normal position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's just do a couple of regular rounds of cat and cow because we haven't really warmed up our back. So can you think about starting your cat and cow from the hip bone? So on an exhale, really bend your hips first and then come up into the shoulders as we come up in our cat pose, exhaling. And then inhale, but try to start with the hips and then ripple through to the shoulders as you do your cow. Inhaling. Exhaling all the way to the cat, starting with the hips again and then coming to the shoulders. And then let's inhale all the way from the hips and then into the shoulders. Last one, start with the hips. Here we go. Cat. And then rippling through or a cow. Now, you can stay like this, or if it's available in your body today, you could either turn your hands outwards, that's already a stretch, or if it's available in your body today, you can turn your hands backwards. You find what feels good to you. You can feel a little mild discomfort here, but please, please, please don't do anything that's painful. We don't want you to injure your wrists. We're just going to do 3 rounds of cat and cow like this. So exhaling, rolling everything up and back. Inhaling, rolling everything forward. Exhaling everything up and back. Inhaling, everything comes forward. Exhaling, rocking it all through. And then let's stay on this exhale shape. And you can stay as you are. You may need to come up slightly off of the mat, but try to keep your wrists a bit down. And let's bring our bum towards our heels. Any amount, you'll probably really feel it. This is a stretch into the fingers, a stretch into the wrists. 3, 2, and 1. Coming back. Give them a twist. Ooh. It'll do you a world of good if you've been typing. Okay, so this time we've just gone outwards. We're going to go the other way. So turning either your fingers towards each other, if that's comfortable and available, or turning your arms backwards, if that's available, or anything in between. So again, we're going to be really mindful that whatever we do doesn't hurt. But finding your correct level of stretch here. We're going to do a couple of 3 cats and cows, and then we're going to rock back towards our heels. So exhaling all the air out, really lifting. Concentrate on your spine more. And inhaling, rippling it through. Exhaling, lifting up the spine. Inhaling, drawing everything through. Exhaling. 1 more. And then from our exhale, again, try to keep your wrists down on the mat, but you may need to peel them up a bit. We're just going to rock backwards, the bum moves towards the heels for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wow. Good job, everyone. Okay, so we have worked into the wrists a little bit. Oh, sorry, I can see one more person in the waiting room. So we've worked into the wrists a little bit. Let's work into the wider shoulder. I'm going to need to switch myself around a couple of times on the mat because I haven't got room. But find yourself back on your cat and cow type position, with or without your knee padding. And on your next inhale, I'd like you to lift your right arm all the way up. If it is available in your body, you can look up towards your right hand. If it's comfortable and available, you can even draw it back a bit. It starts to work into the chest muscles. And then on an exhale, I would like you to bring your right arm all the way underneath, and your ear can go down. Inhaling, let's come all the way up, opening. Exhaling, all the way through, closing. Inhaling, lifting, opening. 1 more. Exhaling and closing. Ear can come down, and if you want, you can bring your left hand either to your hip or even it can hold on to the left thigh. And if you're doing that, you can roll your left shoulder up and back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes up and out. Right hand comes out. Where we're going to go with this next, I would like you to lift that right hand again, and your right leg is going to come and balance behind you. Your left leg is a bit of a kickstand. Can't really see here because of the shadow. So you could stay here. This is a good balance. This is absolutely fine. If you want, you could float the right leg up in the air. And if you are floating that right leg, think about drawing the right toes towards yourself. And if you're feeling really, really good here, you could even draw the right arm overhead. But any of these are fine. You can also bring a hand to the hip if that's uncomfortable. Let's just stay here in this balance pose for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently releasing. I'm going to turn myself around. You don't need to. Okay, so we're going to be doing the same sequence on the left side. So, finding yourself ready, let's lift the left arm up as we inhale. And remember, the more you can draw that left arm back, the more of a chest opener it is. And then on an exhale, we're going to thread that left arm through. Ear can meet the mat. Inhale, lifting the left arm all the way up and through. Exhale, left arm comes down, ear to the mat. Inhale, left arm really opening up the chest. Exhale, left arm comes all the way down. One more, inhale, left arm comes up, opening wide. Exhale, left arm is going to come down, and you can stay here, or the right arm might want to come to the small of your back, or the right arm might want to hold on to the left hip crease, drawing the right shoulder up and open for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently releasing out of that. Coming back up and finding our way down. And then we're going to come into that supported balancing pose. So again, your right foot this time can turn around in a kickstand. Your left foot can come out. And this might be enough, or maybe with a hand on the hip. Maybe your left hand wants to come up above. You can stop at any of these points, they're all options. Maybe you want to draw your left foot up. And if you're doing that, remember your left toes need to work towards your body. And this might be enough. This is quite a lot. Maybe you want to bring your left arm overhead. Wherever you are, find a good place and let's hang out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Gently finding your way back down. Bring your knees as wide as the mat and find a nice comfortable child pose just for a moment. In your child's pose, you maybe have your forehead on the mat. I invite you, whether you've got your forehead or your chest or your chin to the mat right now, to lift your hands up as though they were those mini cupcakes underneath each hand. And that means that you have to lift your arms up, and you can feel some engagement through the shoulders. So you can keep your hips down, you can keep everything else where it is, but maybe walk your hands forward a tiny bit, and you can maybe feel a bit more stretching happening through the shoulders. And then maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to walk your hands around to the left. Stretching. You can even bring your right wrist on top of your left. So we're making a kind of child's pose banana shape. And then you can walk your hands back center. And maybe your left wants to go on top of your right wrist. Stretching the left side body. And releasing up out of that. That was a nice rest. Okay, we're going to do a couple of rounds of sun salutations. As always, in a sun salutation, you guys have got the option of taking a cobra, taking knees, chest, chin, taking chaturanga, and whenever I'm saying downward facing dog, you are welcome to take knees. Come down on your knees if that feels better today. Wherever you are, let's all start the same, standing at the top of your mat. Let's exhale all the air out and inhale all the way reaching up. Exhaling, bending your knees, coming all the way down. Inhaling, let's come up halfway, flat back. Exhaling, bring your hands down to the mat. You can step back into whether you're in a plank or whether you want to come down to a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Let's all inhale our way up to our chest opener, cobra or up dog. This is cobra, up dog. And then let's come back into our downward facing dog, first one of the day. Seeing as we've worked so much into the shoulders already, try pushing down with your thumb and index finger and feeling a bit of a lift from the shoulders. Lifting from the shoulders, lifting up, lifting our hips away. Hanging out here for a couple of breaths. We haven't really used our legs much so far. Maybe you want to walk the dog, walk them out. And then on your next exhale, looking towards your hands, you can step, hop, or float to the front of the mat, coming to halfway, lengthening from the crown of your spine to the tailbone. Exhale and fold deeply. Inhale and reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 3 more. Inhale, let's reach all the way up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold deeply. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, place your hands down, move to the back of the mat, and then you come down in a way that makes sense in your body. Maybe it's knees, chest, and chin. And then you're going to ripple forward into your cobra or up dog. And tuck your toes, find your way back into your downward facing dog. Keep lifting those hips. It's fine to keep moving the legs, easing into our hamstrings. People who've been practicing along together for the last few days might find your hamstrings a little bit looser. Imagine that someone was pushing on your sacrum, pushing your bum up and back. That's what you want to feel. And then let's look towards our hands, stepping, hopping, or floating to the front of the mat, coming up halfway, long straight spine. Exhaling and folding deeply. Inhaling, reaching up, rising up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, let's go straight into it. Exhaling, bending and folding deeply. Inhaling, let's come up halfway. Exhaling, hands down, stepping back. And then you come down whatever way your body wants right now. And you come up whatever way your body wants right now. Tuck your toes, back we go. While you're in your downward dog, maybe you can notice what's happening with your shoulders. Are you sinking down into them, or are you pushing up out of them? Try seeing if you can pop a little bit your shoulders. Just notice what muscles are you engaging to get there. It's always good to be very curious about our bodies. Breathing deeply. Wherever you are, looking towards your hands, let's step up or float to the front. Coming up halfway, really long spine. Exhaling and folding. Inhaling and rising. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling, last one, let's make it our best. Maybe your arms go back a bit. Inhaling, maybe lead with the arms, lead with the heart, all the way down. Coming up halfway, how long can your spine be? Exhale, hands go down. And then you work out how do you need to get down. Knees, chest, chin maybe. Inhaling, come all the way up. Tuck your toes, up we come. Downward facing dog. Hang on in there. Last one for a moment for 5. Lift your hips. 4. Your knees do not have to be straight. 3. You've got this. 2. And 1. Looking towards your hands, you could step hop or float to the front of the mat. Come up halfway, flat back. Exhale and fold. And you can stay here in your fold for a moment. You could either bring your hands to your hips as you fold. You could hold opposite elbows. Or if it's available to you, you could even clasp hands behind your back. Just working into the shoulders a little bit. Whichever variation works for you, please stay in your fold for a moment. And then gently release, coming all the way up. So our next sequence of poses is going to involve some lunging. Sorry, I know I keep turning around. I've got the lights on one side and the props on the other. So staying where you were at the top of your mat, can you step your left leg all the way back? And then you're going to lower yourself down. If you are a person with particularly sensitive knees, this is a great moment to grab your knee padding, because we're going to come into a low lunge for a few minutes. So if you don't need knee padding, don't worry. Also, if you're feeling a bit tired, or maybe just you want to experiment with it, sometimes having something to lean on is good during a low lunge. So you can take a chair or a bin or anything. It's just something to balance yourself against so that you feel stable. Your left leg wants to be out behind you. We're feeling this lunge, this stretch here in your left hip flexors. It doesn't matter if your right knee is behind the ankle, but I'll show you the wrong way to do this. Don't let your knee go in front of your ankle. So you can adjust yourself. the more you bring this left hip forward, the more of an intense low lunge this is going to be. So sometimes just leaning on something is very nice. Nice way to find your way into it. So you can stay here, leaning in your low lunge, maybe balancing on something. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, you are welcome to bring hands to your knees, or for those of you that really are feeling like you want a challenge, I invite you to hold opposite elbows and draw them back a bit as you come forward into your lunge. You listen to what feels good in your body. This is quite an intense stretch. Whichever version you're staying with, let's hang out here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently releasing hands, releasing yourself. So you can keep a hand on the chair if the chair is helpful. We're going to go from our low lunge back into our half monkey king. So you're going to draw your right toes towards yourself. You don't want to go too far back. You might be finding that something to lean on is very, very helpful here. Keep drawing your right foot towards yourself. Think about lifting your chest up. So I don't want you to create this shape, this bending in the spine. I want you to keep a nice straight line. You might be able to do this with your hands down on the ground or on a block if you've got blocks. Wherever you are, just keep drawing the right sole of the foot towards yourself. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving your props out of the way if you've got them. Carefully place your hands, and maybe you can tuck the back toe, maybe you can step back into a downward dog here. If that's not comfortable, you've got a minute. And then let's step the left foot all the way forward. Again, if you're a knee padding person, do pad out that right knee. And we are going to come up into all our variants on the left leg. So this time your right hip flexor is the one that we're working into. It shouldn't be painful, but it might be quite a strong feeling. And your lunge might look more like this. This is fine. I've got a bit more flexibility here. Just again, be careful that your shape doesn't look like this, that the knee is not exceeding the ankle. Wherever you are, maybe you want to balance on something. Sometimes pushing a little bit against something lets you get a little bit deeper into that hip flexor, and maybe that feels good today. We are exploring our bodies. And you could stay here. This might be quite intense. This might be plenty for your body today. You might feel like your body wants a little bit more. So maybe you want to come up with hands on hips, or maybe you want to, again, take this hand clasping pose and draw your arms back. Wherever you are, let's just hang out again in our lunge for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently releasing the arms and finding our way back. So again, we're going to go from the lunge to our half monkey king. So you're going to rock back. And the key thing here is drawing the foot towards yourself. So you're drawing your left foot towards yourself. Your left leg may or may not straighten. That might not be where you are today. And you may want to balance on something. It might be a chair. It might be a block. It might be the floor. Wherever you are, please don't arch your back. Let's keep a nice long spine. Keep kind of drawing your shoulder blades back if you can. But really focus on that left foot, drawing the sole of the foot, the toes towards yourself. of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently moving your prop out the way if you have one. You can push it back and place your hands stepping back, maybe to a downward facing dog. And then let's set our feet as wide as the mat, coming into a slightly wider forward fold. I would like you to lift all your toes and then put them down on the mat and see if, I can't demonstrate this very well anymore, sorry, I've got too much in the way, but see if you can really bring your ribs, your abdomen all the way to touch your thighs. So when you've got your ribs and your abdomen touching your thighs a bit more, my pregnant practitioner, you want to have your legs like this. Everyone else, you can be a bit more like this. But the ribs and the abdomen towards your thighs, and you can bend your legs quite deeply to get into this, and only then, when you've got that touching here, you can start to lift and straighten, coming into quite a deep forward fold. And again, this might be enough. Or maybe you want to go back to either hands on your back or clasping opposite hands. We're just going to hang out here for a moment. And then gently releasing the hands, coming all the way up. Ooh. Taking any wiggles or jiggles that you might want. So coming up next, we're going to make some of the same shapes that you just saw, but where we've just done what we would call a low lunge, we're going to be coming into a high lunge. If you are feeling a low lunge was just fine for you, please follow, but there's no need to go into a high lunge. You can keep bringing your knee down and keep using your padding if padding was working well for you. So, thinking about whichever variation you fancy, come to the top of your mat and let's start off by stepping the left foot quite far back. Now your left heel is not going to be down, it's going to be up. And if you're coming with me on a high lunge, that same rule about not letting your knee exceed your ankle is still going to apply here. You can put a hand on the wall as well to balance yourself if you're feeling unstable. But let's come all the way down. Your left heel is going to be up. I want you to have a sense of lifting in your left thigh. Your right leg is going to be forward, and if your knee is pointing diagonally, try and keep your knee pointing the same direction as your toes. So this is your high lunge. The more you sort of bend the leg, the gentler it's going to be. The more you kick back through that foot and lower yourself down, the more intense it's going to be. And again, hand on the wall might help. Having something to balance on might help. Those of you, my regular yogis, who are feeling quite confident here, you might want to bring hands to hips. Those of you, my regular yogis, who are thinking, yes, I came here for a bit more, might want to reach your hands all the way up, and maybe even they can go back a bit. That really intensifies things, but that's fine. Finding the right version for you for 4, 3, looking up if this is the one you're into, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to straighten up that front leg, and it might be that having a chair, having something to balance on is helpful. If you are a tighter hips person, then stepping that left foot might help you. We're back in this pyramid pose. So we're working towards straightening our right, straightening our left. And this might be enough. You might not get your left heel all the way down. Hopefully, in your pyramid pose, you're finding right now that there's some quite strong stretching happening in your left leg and some quite strong stretching happening in your right leg, in the hamstrings. Your legs may not be entirely straight. We're working towards that. So you could stay here, and I'm going to give you 3 options. You could stay here with your hands balancing on a prop. Wherever you are, I'd like you to find that flat back kind of shape. And I'd like you to tuck your right hip back, draw your left hip forward. That does intensify things, I know. So this might be enough. This is already plenty. You might want to go a little bit further, and maybe you want to bring your arms ahead. And if you would like to go really quite significantly further, you can bring your arms all the way up and over. You find the version that works in your body right now, tonight. 4. We can do this. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Releasing. Bring yourself up to the top of the mat. Shake it out. Ooh. Okay, one more side to go. Let's step your right leg back. And again, this time the left leg is going to bend. Your right leg, the heel is going to be up. So the more bend you keep in this right leg, the easier it's going to be. The more you straighten the right leg away and sink down, the more intense this is going to be. So you find the level of strength or intensity that works in your body. Your left knee might be wanting to go diagonal. Make sure your left knee is pointing in the direction of your toes. And don't let your knee exceed your ankle. So again, a hand on something for balance is fine. A hand on the wall for balance is also fine. So long as we're feeling that stretch, that working in our legs, we're good. My regular yogis who are feeling they want to have a very strong practice, I invite you to lift your arms all the way up and back, which makes this quite strong. And if it's available to you, you can even look up for 5, 4, keep lifting that right knee, 2, and 1. Carefully, I never said hands on hips. You guys knew. And then we're going to find our way to a pyramid pose. So again, it might be helpful to hop your right leg a little bit closer. Your knees may not straighten completely. We're working towards that. So you should feel a strong engagement in your left and right hamstring. Think about drawing your left hip back, your right hip forward. We want to keep our back long and our chest open. So finding your hamstrings, working into the hips. You could stay here, you can balance on something, and that is absolutely fine. If you want to go a bit further, you can bring your hands forward. And this is quite a lot. It definitely intensifies the hamstrings. I'm sure you've noticed if you've joined me. Or you can bring your hands behind your back. Again, these are all just options. Find one that works for you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming out. Maybe take some balance. Come to the top of the mat. Maybe walk your legs out. So, where we're going to go with this next is going to be a sequence. If you have a chair or something that you're using for balance, I recommend you have it half on your mat, half off, and then it's less likely to slip. Whereas if I move my chair off the mat, it can go. So, showing you quickly before we go into it, where we're going to go. We're going to do a warrior 2. And then we're going to reverse our warrior. Nice and familiar. Back into warrior 2. And then for those of us that want to, we're going to come back to a version of the shape that we did at the beginning of the class. So we're going to hop the foot in and then put a hand, and this could be enough. This could be enough, or I'll give you more options. Please don't do anything that feels like you're going to fall. Don't do anything uncomfortable. We're using our core strength here a lot. Okay, you know where we're going to go? You can decide which point you want to follow me to. Let's step the left foot all the way up. Your right heel is going to intercept the arch of the left foot. So your right foot is pointing forward. Your left foot wants to be at about a 45-degree angle. Your left leg is straight. Your right leg is going to bend. Knee can't exceed ankle, of course. Can you put a hand guiding your left hip and draw it open a bit here? We'll probably all want to be like this if you're tight hips. So we want to be more open. Fabulous. Remember that slightly achy shoulder feeling from the beginning of class? Let's find that again. So really, you want totally straight arms in your warrior. Think about drawing your shoulder blades together whilst pushing your fingertips away. I know, it's a lot of effort, right? Especially with the legs. Finding your warrior that's strong. So maybe you can sink down a tiny bit. Try and keep your torso above your hips, looking towards your right fingertips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Your left hand is going to come round behind you and hold either your shirt or hook onto your right thigh. Flip your right palm and then watch it as you lift it all the way up and over. This is your reverse warrior. And then let's watch that arm come all the way down. Find your way back into warrior 2. Okay, we're going to come into our half moon supported with chair versions. So you can bring your right hand towards your support. And you might want to hop your left foot a little bit closer. You're going to think about engaging here and staying open here. So you can bring your left hand to your left hip. And it could be that you just lift a little. It could be that lifting comes easy. So think about really rolling that left hip open. We want to draw the toes towards yourself again, just like at the beginning of today's class. And maybe your left arm can come all the way up. If you don't need a chair, that's fine. You can come to the floor, wherever you are, with whatever support works for you. Woo! Do better than me. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming safely out of it. And then shake it up. Well done, everyone. You stay where you are. I've got to move all my props. Okay. So, for you guys, you'll be at the top of the mat, wherever you are. Let's step the right leg back. And this time it's your left leg that is bending. Yeah, that is the right way. So, I've confused myself with right and left. I think you guys know what we're going to do. It's the opposite side. Left leg is bent. This leg is bending. This leg is straight. Make sure that your knee doesn't exceed your ankle. You want your heel to be in line with the arch of this foot. You want to come down as much as is comfortable, drawing your right hip open. And then let's stretch our arms up and away. You can look towards your left hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your legs exactly as they are, but this time it's the right hand that's going to come behind. As your left arm comes up and over, reverse warrior. And then let's unreverse that warrior. And then we're going to reach forward, find our balance, maybe hop this leg in, maybe reaching onto something. And your options again, you can go on a tiptoe here. You can lift the leg a bit. We want to turn that hip open. I'm coming out of shot. If you can come all the way out, that's great. Draw the ankle firmly towards yourself. Hand on hip is fine, or maybe that arm wants to open all the way. Maybe you don't need a chair. Wherever you are, keep opening the chest, keep working through the legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently finding your way back. Finding your way to a nice wide-legged fold. Releasing. Bring your hands to your hips and let's come all the way up. I would like us to end on one more pose that is in the same family as half moon. But I think we'll do it on our hands and knees today, and then tomorrow we can try doing it standing up. So we've just worked into these sides of the body. Can you come back down to hands and knees? Feel free to pad if your knees like a bit of padding. I'll show you where we're going to go with this. I think I'm going to show you, I'll show you this side first. So you're going to be coming to that shape that recalled the half moon. The one that we just did, where the foot comes around in a kickstand. And this is where we came to. We just did the standing up version, the full half moon pose. What you're then going to do is to bend that leg in, and you're going to catch the foot from this side and kick into your arm. But what I would like you to concentrate on is drawing the shoulder back. So the kick isn't going up and dropping everything down. Instead, I would like you to really open back. So, keeping your right hand and your right foot on the ground. Draw your right toe around in a kickstand. The left leg can come up. The left arm can come up. Hopefully everything is super open, super limber now. And you can lift that left leg up and then kick it back. You're going to catch your left foot from underneath and think about really drawing your left shoulder open and back. So we're using the leg to open the shoulder for 4, 3, 2, really feeling that shoulder opening, and 1, gently releasing. Okay, give it a jiggle if you need. And then we're going to swap sides. So the left toe is going to come round in a kickstand. The right leg can come up, hand to hip, draw that leg up. Remember, these are all options, but maybe you want to bend that leg, catch it from underneath, and keep drawing your right shoulder open and back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently, safely releasing everything down. Well done. That's all the tricky poses done for today. Only thing we're going to do is puppy pose and some laying down stuff now. So puppy pose, I want you to try and keep your hips over your knees. And then you're going to find your way to the ground. some of us, it's a bit lower than for others. If you've got a bit more space to play with here, then by all means do clasp your hands behind your neck. And by all means do try and bring your chest closer. For the rest of us, this is absolutely fine. Wherever you are, happy pose for about 10 long breaths. And gently find your way up out of that. Before we come down, we're going to stretch the toes of our feet. So can you tuck your toes under? And then we're going to sit back onto our ankles. That might be quite uncomfortable for you. It shouldn't be painful, but it could be quite uncomfortable. Try to make a straight line with your back. And in this pose, I'm going to ask you to come to a reverse prayer with your hands. So that could be like this. It could be like this. It could be holding opposite elbows. Hopefully now everyone's shoulders a little bit more open. Breathing long. Three, 2, and 1. Releasing the ankles. Let's come to a comfortable seat. A little bit more, we're almost done, almost. Keep your legs in front of you. Now, if you have got amazing, nice limber hamstrings, you can just draw your toes towards yourself, keep your back straight and come all the way forward. If you maybe have a towel or a strap, which I haven't got, this would be a great moment for that. I would like you to come towards your ankles a bit, draw your ankles towards yourself and just work as far forward as you can go whilst keeping your back straight. So again, we're avoiding this, we're avoiding the arch. So for some of us, that might just mean that hands reach as far as knees. You find your forward fold keeps your chest open. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming out. We're gonna just do a happy baby because we always do, and then shavasana. Happy baby, hopefully everyone knows by now. You're gonna come to your back. Hands are going to go inside the knees and clasp your feet from the outside. The more strongly that you draw your knees down towards the mat, the more of a strong stretch it's going to be. Gently holding on here. Try to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. So pushing your shoulder blades down. You can rock from side to side as well. And apparently laughing helps, so I can only ever remember one joke. What's the difference between snowmen and snow women? Snowballs. And gently release your legs all the way up. Or maybe stretch them towards yourself one more time. Take a moment here if there's any more poses that your body wants. Anything else that feels good, you can go for it. Or otherwise, you can bring your legs all the way down, all the way out into your shavasana. And closing your eyes, palms are facing up. Let's just notice our bodies for a moment here. Maybe notice that your toes are rocking outwards slightly. Notice which part of your ankle is touching the mat. Notice if you can feel any feelings on the top part of your calves and on the bottom part where it touches the mat. Hopefully your knees are just relaxing here. Hopefully your thighs are able to release a bit of tension. Maybe your glutes, your hips, your butt, feeling nice and easy. Hopefully your hip flexors are releasing now. Maybe you can feel where your lower back arches away from the mat. Feel your belly to relax. Notice the breath coming in, coming out. Hopefully even your fingers are a little bit looser now. Your wrists, your lower arms, elbows, upper arms can release, relax. Shoulders should be melting into the mat. Tell them it's okay, they've got nothing else to do. Upper back can relax. Your neck has nothing else to do. Feeling the back of your head connecting to the mat. Your chin, your jaw, even your tongue. And just rest for a minute. The muscles in your face, muscles between your eyebrows, they can rest too. Anywhere else in your body. Maybe you can find a sense of lightness. Know that you're in your own home right now. And if you want to stay here and stay laying down on your mat, you can, as long as you wish. If not, you could start inviting life back to your body with some small movements, the fingers, the toes. Maybe reach up overhead and stretch out like you just had a lovely sleep. And then roll over onto one side. Rest a moment here. Try, if you can, to keep your eyes closed as you find your way up to a comfortable seat. Rolling your shoulders back and down. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's bow down in gratitude for everything that our body could do today. Thank you for sharing this practice. Namaste.